Excuse me, what is the problem with the car? Can I take a look?
What?
Tamara Williams stood on the side of Highway 405, her hands covered in grease, staring at the overheating engine of a sleek black Mercedes that didn't belong to her. The man who owned it, dressed in a $10,000 suit that was now ruined with oil stains, was pacing nervously and checking his watch every 30 seconds. He'd been on his way to meet someone important. A blind date, he'd said. The woman of his dreams, supposedly. Someone his mother had set him up with. And now he was stranded on the highway with a single black mother who fixed cars for a living? And he had absolutely no idea that Tamara was the exact woman he was supposed to meet. "How much longer?" the man asked, his voice tight with frustration. "I'm already 20 minutes late. She's going to think I stood her up." Tamara didn't look up from the engine. Her fingers worked quickly, tightening a loose belt, checking fluid levels, doing what she'd done 1,000 times before. "Another 5 minutes, maybe 10. Your radiator hose was about to blow. You're lucky I was driving by when your engine started smoking. Or you'd be calling a tow truck and waiting 2 hours." "I don't have 10 minutes, the man said, running his hand through his perfectly styled hair, making it stand up in stressed peaks. "This date is important. Really important. I can't mess this up." Tamara glanced at him for just a second. He was handsome. She'd give him that. Tall. Strong jaw. Eyes that probably made women melt. But right now, those eyes were filled with panic, and Tamara had no patience for rich men who thought the world should stop for their problems. She had her own problems. Like the fact that her babysitter had just texted saying her 7-year-old son Jaden had a fever and needed to be picked up. Like the fact that her rent was due in 3 days, and she was still $200 short. Like the fact that she'd agreed to go on a blind date tonight with some guy her friend Keisha had set her up with, and she was probably going to have to cancel because Jaden came first, always. "Well, lucky for you, I know what I'm doing," Tamara said, wiping sweat from her forehead with the back of her arm. "Hand me that wrench in your trunk. The one I asked you to get 5 minutes ago." The man blinked, like he'd forgotten she'd asked, and hurried to get it. When he handed it to her, their fingers touched for just a moment. Tamara felt something strange. A spark, a connection. Something she immediately pushed away because she didn't have time for feelings. Didn't have time for complications. Didn't have time for men, especially not rich ones, who looked at her like she was the help. But what neither of them knew, what neither of them could possibly know in this moment, was that they were supposed to be sitting across from each other in a fancy restaurant right now. They were supposed to be on their first date. They were supposed to be discovering that despite their different worlds, despite every reason they shouldn't work, they were perfect for each other. Instead, they were on the side of the highway, covered in grease, with no idea that fate had just played the cruelest and most beautiful trick on both of them. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. To understand how Tamara Williams and Nathan Reed ended up in this impossible situation, we need to go back. Back to the beginning. Back to when both of their lives were completely different. Back to before everything changed. 3 weeks earlier, Tamara Williams woke up at 5:30 in the morning, like she did every day. Her small 2-bedroom apartment in Inglewood was quiet, except for the sound of her son Jaden breathing softly in the room next to hers. Tamara lay in bed for exactly 2 minutes, letting herself be still, letting herself exist in the peaceful silence before the chaos of the day began. Then she got up, made coffee, made Jaden's lunch for school, laid out his clothes, checked her phone for messages from potential customers. Tamara ran her own mobile mechanic business. She'd started it 3 years ago, after getting laid off from the auto shop where she'd worked since she was 19. Couldn't find another job. Couldn't afford to be unemployed. So she'd taken her savings, bought tools and a used van, and started fixing cars wherever people needed her. Driveways, parking lots, street corners. Anywhere someone's car broke down, Tamara would go. It was hard work, unpredictable income, no benefits, no security, but it was hers, and she was good at it. Really good. Her father had been a mechanic, had taught her everything before he died when she was 16. Tamara had learned that cars made sense. They had problems you could diagnose, issues you could fix, unlike people, unlike life. Unlike the father of her child who'd left the moment he found out she was pregnant. At 6:30, Tamara woke Jaden. He was 7 years old, with his father's eyes and Tamara's smile and a heart so big it scared her sometimes. He was kind, gentle, the type of kid who cried when other kids were mean to each other, the type of kid who saved his allowance to buy presents for Tamara, the type of kid who deserved better than a mother who was always working, always stressed, always trying to keep them afloat. "Morning, baby," Tamara said, sitting on the edge of Jaden's bed. "Time to get up for school." Jaden groaned and pulled his blanket over his head. 5 more minutes? "No more minutes," Tamara said, but she was smiling. "Come on. I made your favorite. Pancakes." That got him up. Jaden loved pancakes. They ate breakfast together, Tamara asking about his homework, Jaden telling her about his friend who had a new video game. Normal morning conversation. The kind that made Tamara's chest tight with love and fear because she wanted to give Jaden everything and could barely give him enough. After dropping Jaden at school, Tamara spent the day working, fixed a transmission in West Hollywood, changed brake pads in Santa Monica, diagnosed an electrical problem in Culver City. By 4 p.m., she'd made $320. Enough for groceries, not enough for rent, never enough for rent. She was driving back toward Inglewood to pick up Jaden when her phone rang. Keisha, her best friend since high school, the only person who really knew how hard Tamara's life was. "Girl, please tell me you didn't forget about tomorrow night," Keisha said, without saying hello. Tamara frowned. "What's tomorrow night?" "Your date, the blind date I set up, with Nathan, remember?" Tamara's stomach dropped. She had forgotten. Completely forgotten. "Keisha, I can't go on a date. I have Jaden. And work. And nothing," Keisha interrupted. "Tamara, you haven't been on a date in 3 years. 3 years? You're 28 years old. You're allowed to have a life outside of being a mom and a mechanic. I'll watch Jaden. He can have a sleepover with my kids. You're going on this date." "I don't even know this guy," Tamara protested. "You just told me his name is Nathan, and he's looking for someone real. That's not a lot of information." "That's all you need to know," Keisha said. "The rest you'll find out tomorrow. He's a good guy, T, I promise. My cousin works with him. Says he's looking for something serious. Someone who's not impressed by his money. Someone who has her own life. Someone exactly like you." "His money?" Tamara asked, alarm bells ringing. "Keisha, I don't want to date some rich guy. We'd have nothing in common. He'd probably take one look at me and run. Or he'd take one look at you and realize you're amazing," Keisha countered. "Just give it a chance. 1 date. 2 hours. If it's terrible, you never have to see him again. But Tamara, you deserve happiness. You deserve love. Let me give this to you. Please." Tamara wanted to say no, wanted to cancel, wanted to avoid the inevitable awkwardness of sitting across from a stranger and trying to make conversation. But Keisha was right. It had been 3 years. 3 years of focusing only on Jaden and work. 3 years of telling herself she didn't need anyone. 3 years of being lonely and pretending she wasn't. "Okay," Tamara said finally. "1 date, but if he's a jerk, I'm leaving." "Deal," Keisha said, and Tamara could hear the smile in her voice. "Tomorrow, 7 p.m. The restaurant is called Bella Vista. It's fancy, so wear something nice. Not your work clothes." "I don't have anything fancy," Tamara said. "Then borrow something from me. Come over tomorrow after you drop Jaden at school. We'll find you the perfect outfit. This is going to be great, T. I can feel it." Tamara wasn't so sure, but she'd agreed, and Tamara Williams was someone who kept her promises, even when she didn't want to. The next day, Tamara did exactly what Keisha suggested. Dropped Jaden at school, went to Keisha's house, tried on a dozen outfits that didn't fit right or didn't feel like her. Finally settled on a simple black dress that Keisha swore made Tamara look beautiful. Tamara felt uncomfortable and exposed, but Keisha wouldn't let her change. "You look amazing," Keisha insisted. "Nathan's going to be blown away. Now, the restaurant is on the west side. You need to leave by 6:30 to get there on time. Don't be late. First impressions matter." "I know," Tamara said, though her stomach was in knots. "What if he doesn't like me?" "Then he's an idiot," Keisha said firmly. "But he will, because you're smart and funny and beautiful, and any man would be lucky to have you. Now stop worrying and go make some money so you're not stressed about it tonight." Tamara left Keisha's house with the dress in a garment bag and a heart full of anxiety. She had 4 hours before she needed to get ready. 4 hours to make enough money to quiet the voice in her head that said she couldn't afford to take a night off. Couldn't afford to waste time on a date that probably wouldn't lead anywhere. She got 3 calls that afternoon. One was a quick oil change in Torrance, easy money. The second was a flat tire in Marina del Rey, also easy. The third was a woman in Beverly Hills whose car wouldn't start. Tamara quoted her price, the woman agreed, and Tamara headed over. By 5:30, Tamara had made another $200, enough that she didn't feel guilty about taking the night off. She drove home, showered, put on the dress that didn't feel like her, did her makeup the way Keisha had shown her, and stared at herself in the mirror. She looked different. Softer, more vulnerable. Tamara wasn't sure she liked it, but it was too late to back out now. At 6:15, Tamara's phone rang. Unknown number. She answered it thinking it might be a customer. "Is this Tamara Williams, the mechanic?" A man's voice, panicked, desperate. "Yes," Tamara said. "Who's this?" "My name is Nathan Reed. I'm stuck on the 405 near Culver City. My car is overheating. Smoking. I don't know what's wrong. I called 3 other mechanics, and no one can come out here for at least 2 hours. But I have somewhere I need to be. Really need to be. It's an emergency. Can you help me? I'll pay double your normal rate, triple, whatever you want. I just need my car fixed now." Tamara looked at the clock. 6:17. The restaurant was 30 minutes away. If she left now, she'd barely make it on time. But if she helped this Nathan guy, she'd definitely be late. Might even have to cancel. She thought about it for exactly 3 seconds. Then she said, "I can be there in 15 minutes. What kind of car?" "Black Mercedes. E-Class. I'm on the shoulder just past the Culver exit. And thank you. Seriously, you're saving my life." Tamara hung up and looked at herself in the mirror one more time. The dress. The makeup. The hope that maybe tonight would be special. Then she grabbed her work clothes from the laundry, changed in record time, threw her tools in her van, and drove toward the highway. She'd text her date when she got there, explained she'd be late, hope he'd understand. If he didn't, well, then he wasn't worth her time anyway. Tamara's rule was simple. People in trouble came first. Always. Even if it meant sacrificing something she wanted. It took her 18 minutes to reach the 405. Traffic was terrible. When she finally spotted the black Mercedes on the shoulder, hazard lights flashing, Tamara pulled up behind it and got out. A man was standing next to the car, pacing, phone pressed to his ear. He was wearing an expensive suit, Italian leather shoes, probably cost more than Tamara's entire wardrobe. He looked stressed, worried. And when he saw Tamara approaching, he hung up his phone and practically ran toward her. "Thank God," he said. "Are you Tamara, the mechanic?" "That's me," Tamara said, already pulling tools from her van. "Pop your hood, let's see what we're dealing with." The man did as she asked, and Tamara leaned over the engine, immediately identifying the problem. Loose radiator hose. Simple fix. 20 minutes tops. She could still make her date if she hurried. "How bad is it?" the man asked, hovering near her shoulder. "Not terrible," Tamara said, already getting to work. "Your radiator hose is loose, probably been leaking coolant for a while. You're lucky it didn't blow completely. That would have destroyed your engine. Can you fix it?" "Already am," Tamara said, "but I need you to stop hovering. You're blocking my light." The man stepped back, chastised. "Sorry, I'm just stressed. I'm supposed to be meeting someone. A blind date. My mother set it up. She says this woman is perfect for me. Smart, independent, real. Not like the other women I've dated. And I'm already late. Really late. I tried calling the restaurant, but she's not there yet. I don't even have her number to explain. I'm going to blow this before it even starts." Tamara's hands froze on the wrench she was holding. A blind date, set up by his mother. At a restaurant. Tonight, she looked up at the man, really looked at him for the first time, and felt her stomach drop. "What's your name?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. "Nathan," he said. "Nathan Reed." Why? Tamara's mind was racing. This was Nathan, her Nathan, the blind date she was supposed to meet at 7 p.m. He was here, on the side of the highway, getting his car fixed by her. And he had no idea. No idea at all that she was the woman he was panicking about being late for. She should tell him, should explain, should laugh at the absurdity of the situation, but something stopped her. Maybe it was the way he dismissed her when she first arrived, looking at her like she was just the help. Maybe it was curiosity about what he'd say about her when he didn't know she was listening. Maybe it was the fact that Tamara had spent her whole life being underestimated, and she wanted to see if Nathan Reed was different or just another rich guy who judged people by their appearance. So instead of revealing the truth, Tamara just said, "Well, lucky for you, I'm fast. Let me finish this and you can still make your date." "Thank you," Nathan said, relief flooding his voice. "Seriously, you're a lifesaver." Tamara went back to work, her mind spinning. She was fixing her date's car. He was standing 3 feet away from her, talking about how important meeting her was, and he didn't recognize her. Didn't know that fate had just thrown them together in the most impossible way. But as Tamara's hands moved across the engine, as Nathan paced and checked his watch and stressed about being late, one thought kept repeating in her mind. What happens when he finds out? What happens when Nathan Reed discovers that the mechanic who saved him on the highway and the woman he was supposed to meet at Bella Vista are the same person? Tamara didn't know. But she had a feeling she was about to find out. And it wasn't going to be simple. It wasn't going to be easy. Because Nathan had already made assumptions about her, had already put her in a box labeled mechanic and help and not someone he'd date. And Tamara had let him, had played along, had hidden who she really was. Now she had to figure out how to fix this mess. Fix Nathan's car, and somehow fix the disaster their first meeting had become. Fix the fact that she'd lied by omission. Fix everything before it was too late. But first, she had to finish tightening this radiator hose, had to get Nathan back on the road, had to make a decision about what came next. The sun was starting to set, painting the sky orange and pink. Traffic rushed by on the highway. Nathan's phone rang again, and he answered it, saying, I know, I'm on my way, just had car trouble, I'll be there soon, don't let her leave." Tamara wondered who he was talking to, wondered if it was Keisha, wondered what Keisha would say if she knew where Tamara was right now. Probably laugh. Definitely say something about fate and signs and how this was meant to be. But Tamara didn't believe in fate, didn't believe in signs. She believed in hard work, in fixing problems, in doing what needed to be done. And right now, what needed to be done was finishing this repair and figuring out how to salvage a first date that had gone wrong before it even started. "Almost done," Tamara said, her voice steady even though her heart was pounding. "Another 2 minutes." "You're amazing," Nathan said, watching her work. "I don't know how you do this, it looks so complicated." "It's not that complicated when you know what you're doing," Tamara said. "Just like anything else. Looks hard from the outside, makes sense when you're in it." "What made you become a mechanic?" Nathan asked. "If you don't mind me asking." Tamara did mind, but she answered anyway. "My dad. He taught me. Thought it was important that I could take care of myself, fix things when they broke, not depend on anyone." "Smart man," Nathan said. "He was," Tamara agreed, and there was a note of sadness in her voice that Nathan caught. "Was?" he asked gently. "He died," Tamara said, not looking up from the engine. "When I was 16, car accident." "I'm sorry," Nathan said. And he sounded like he meant it. "That must have been hard." "It was," Tamara said. "But it taught me something important. Life doesn't stop because you're sad. Problems don't fix themselves. You have to keep moving, keep working, keep surviving." Nathan was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "That's kind of beautiful, in a sad way." Tamara finished the repair and straightened up, wiping her hands on a rag. "Okay, you're all set. Radiator hose is secure. I added coolant. You should be fine to drive. But get this checked out properly soon. Have a mechanic look at the whole cooling system. Could be other issues." "How much do I owe you?" Nathan asked, already pulling out his wallet. $200, Tamara said. "I said I'd pay triple," Nathan reminded her. "And I'm saying 200 is fair," Tamara said firmly. "I don't overcharge people just because they're in a bad situation." Nathan looked at her for a long moment, something shifting in his expression. "You're not like other mechanics I've met." "No," Tamara agreed. "I'm not." Nathan handed her $300 bills. "Keep the change. For getting here so fast. For saving my date. You really did save me." Tamara took the money and put it in her pocket. "You should get going." You're already 40 minutes late. Your date might not wait much longer. You're right, Nathan said, but he hesitated. What's your name? Your full name? So I can recommend you to people. Tamara Williams, she said, and watched to see if recognition would flash across his face. It didn't. Well, Tamara Williams, Nathan said, extending his hand for a shake. Thank you. Really. I hope your night gets better than mine started. Tamara shook his hand, feeling that spark again, that connection that shouldn't be there but was. I hope your date goes well. Me too, Nathan said, and he actually looked nervous. I really want this to work. She sounds perfect. My mom says she's everything I've been looking for. I just hope I haven't already ruined it by being late. Tamara almost told him then. Almost said, I'm Tamara, the one you're supposed to meet. But before she could, Nathan's phone rang again. I have to take this, he said apologetically, but thank you again, seriously, you're a lifesaver. He got in his car, still on the phone, and drove away. Leaving Tamara, standing on the shoulder of the highway, covered in grease, holding $300, watching her blind date disappear into traffic without any idea that he'd just met her. Tamara pulled out her phone. It was 7:15. Nathan was probably arriving at the restaurant right now, was probably walking in, looking for her, not finding her. She should call him, should go there, should explain. But she was covered in grease. Her dress was in her van, but she couldn't show up to a fancy restaurant smelling like engine oil. Couldn't walk in looking like she'd been working all day, which she had. She texted Keisha instead. Something came up. Can't make the date. I'll explain later. Keisha called immediately. What do you mean you can't make it? Tamara, you promised. I know, Tamara said. But I had an emergency. A customer. I couldn't leave them stranded. You chose work over your date. Keisha sounded disappointed and frustrated. When are you going to put yourself first? I am putting myself first. Tamara said, though she wasn't sure that was true. This customer paid me $300. That's almost half my rent. I couldn't turn that down. Keisha sighed. I'm going to call Nathan. Explain. Maybe you can reschedule. No, Tamara said quickly. Don't call him. I'll handle it. I'll reach out myself. Explain. It's fine. It's not fine, Keisha said. But okay. Just promise me you'll actually do it. Promise me you won't use this as an excuse to never try. I promise, Tamara said, though she had no idea how she was going to keep that promise. She hung up and got in her van. Drove home in silence, her mind replaying every moment of the encounter with Nathan. The way he'd talked about her. The way he'd looked at her without seeing her. The way he'd thanked her for saving his date without realizing she was the date. It was funny, in a sad way, and Tamara wasn't sure if she should laugh or cry, so she did neither. Just drove home, picked up Jaden from Keisha's house, gave him dinner, put him to bed, and sat alone in her living room, wondering what the hell she was supposed to do now. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Hi. This is Nathan. Keisha gave me your number. I'm so sorry about tonight. I had car trouble, had to get it fixed on the side of the highway, made me really late. I completely understand if you don't want to reschedule, but I'd really like to try again, if you're willing. Let me make it up to you, Nathan. Tamara stared at the message. Read it 3 times. Nathan didn't know. Still didn't know. Thought Tamara had stood him up or canceled. Had no idea they'd already met. She should tell him the truth. Should explain right now. Should clear up this misunderstanding before it got worse. But a part of her, a small, petty part, wanted to see what would happen. Wanted to know if Nathan Reed was really looking for someone real, or if he was just another rich guy who wanted a woman he could mold into what he needed. Wanted to test him. See if he'd recognize her next time. See if he'd put the pieces together, or if he'd keep her in that box labeled, just the mechanic. So instead of telling the truth, Tamara typed, car trouble sounds rough. Hope you got it fixed. I had an emergency too. Work thing. Maybe we can try again. When are you free? She hit send before she could change her mind. Nathan's response came immediately. Tomorrow? Same restaurant? 7 p.m.? I promise I'll be on time this time. Tamara typed, okay, tomorrow, 7 p.m., don't be late. I won't, Nathan replied. And Tamara, thank you for giving me another chance. I have a feeling you're worth it. Tamara put her phone down and buried her face in her hands. What had she just done? She'd just agreed to go on a date with a man who'd already met her. A man who'd looked right at her and not seen her as anything more than someone who fixed his car. A man who was going to walk into that restaurant tomorrow, expecting to meet her for the first time. And she was going to have to decide whether to tell him the truth or keep pretending. This was a disaster. An absolute disaster. And Tamara had no one to blame but herself. She'd made it worse. Complicated something that should have been simple. And now she was going to have to face the consequences. But tomorrow was tomorrow. Tonight, she was just tired. Tired and confused and wondering if maybe, just maybe, fate was real after all. Because, what were the odds? What were the chances that the man she was supposed to meet would break down on the highway and call her, specifically her, to fix his car? It was too coincidental to be random, too perfect to be an accident. Which meant something bigger was at play. Something Tamara couldn't control, or predict, or fix, with a wrench and some elbow grease. And that terrified her more than anything else, because Tamara Williams was used to fixing things. But she had a feeling Nathan Reed was going to break her heart, and that was something no amount of skill could repair. She just hoped she'd survive long enough to find out if he was worth it. Tamara stood in front of her bathroom mirror the next evening, hands shaking as she tried to apply mascara for the third time. She'd already poked herself in the eye twice, leaving it slightly red and watery. This was ridiculous. She'd faced down angry customers, worked in dangerous neighborhoods, raised a child alone, but somehow the thought of walking into that restaurant and facing Nathan Reed made her more nervous than anything she'd done in years. "Mama, you look pretty," Jaden said from the doorway, making Tamara jump. "Thank you, baby," she said, setting down the mascara before she blinded herself. "But you're supposed to be getting ready for Miss Keisha's house." "I am ready," Jaden said, holding up his overnight bag. "Are you going on a date?" "Miss Keisha said you were going on a date." Tamara turned to face her son. 7 years old, and already too perceptive. "I am. Is that okay with you?" Jaden thought about it seriously. "Is he nice?" "I don't know yet," Tamara admitted. "That's why I'm going on the date. To find out." "Will he be my new daddy?" Jaden asked, his voice small. Tamara's heart broke a little. She knelt down to Jaden's level. "No, baby. One date doesn't make someone a daddy. And you don't need a daddy to be happy. We're doing just fine, aren't we?" "Yeah," Jaden said. "But sometimes I wish I had one. Like the other kids at school." Tamara pulled him into a hug, holding him tight. "I know. I wish I could give you that. But the right person will come along when they're supposed to. And until then, we have each other. That's enough." "Okay," Jaden said, hugging her back. "But Mama, if he's mean to you, you should leave." "That's what you always tell me about bullies." Tamara laughed despite herself. "You're absolutely right. If he's mean, I'll leave. I promise." 20 minutes later, Tamara dropped Jaden at Keisha's house and endured a full inspection from her best friend. "You look amazing," Keisha said, circling Tamara like she was a sculpture in a museum. "That dress is perfect. Your hair is perfect. Nathan's going to lose his mind. Or he's going to recognize me from yesterday and realize I've been lying to him," Tamara said, her stomach in knots. "You haven't been lying," Keisha protested. "You just haven't told him yet. There's a difference." "Is there?" Tamara asked. "Because it feels like lying." "Look," Keisha said, taking Tamara's hands. "You were doing your job yesterday. You helped someone in trouble. That's who you are. And if Nathan can't appreciate that, if he's upset that you were working instead of sitting in a restaurant waiting for him, then he's not worth your time." "But I don't think that's going to happen. My cousin says Nathan is a good guy. A really good guy. Just give him a chance. Give yourself a chance." Tamara wanted to believe her. But the doubt was eating her alive. What if he thinks I was testing him? What if he gets angry? "Then you explain," Keisha said simply. "You tell him the truth. That you were helping someone and didn't realize it was him until it was too late to say anything. He'll understand. And if he doesn't, then like I said, he's not worth it." Tamara took a deep breath. Okay, I can do this." "That's my girl," Keisha said, pushing Tamara toward the door. "Now go. Don't be late, and text me everything." The drive to Bella Vista took 35 minutes through evening traffic. Tamara's hands were sweating on the steering wheel. She'd rehearsed what she'd say 100 times. "Hi Nathan, funny story about yesterday. Or, you're not going to believe this. But, or, remember that mechanic who fixed your car? Surprise. None of them sounded right. All of them sounded insane. She pulled into the restaurant parking lot at 6:55. Sat in her car for 3 minutes, trying to calm her racing heart. Finally, at 6:58, she got out, smoothed down her dress, and walked toward the entrance. Bella Vista was fancy. Really fancy. The kind of place Tamara had only seen in movies. Soft lighting, white tablecloths, a hostess stand that probably cost more than Tamara's van. She suddenly felt underdressed and out of place, even though Keisha had sworn the dress was perfect. "Do you have a reservation?" the hostess asked with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "I'm meeting someone," Tamara said. "Nathan Reed?" The hostess's smile became genuine. "Oh yes, Mr. Reed is already here. Right this way." Tamara followed her through the restaurant, weaving between tables of people who all looked like they belonged here. People in expensive clothes having expensive conversations about expensive things. This was Nathan's world, not hers. She didn't belong here. And then she saw him. Nathan Reed, sitting at a corner table, looking nervous and checking his watch. He was wearing a different suit than yesterday. This one was navy blue and fit him perfectly. His hair was styled, his shoes were polished. He looked like he'd stepped out of a magazine. And when he saw Tamara approaching, he stood up, his face breaking into a smile that made Tamara's breath catch. "Tamara?" Nathan asked, extending his hand. "I'm Nathan. It's so nice to finally meet you." Tamara shook his hand, that same spark from yesterday shooting through her. "Nice to meet you too." Nathan pulled out her chair, waited for her to sit, then sat down across from her. He was staring at her with an intensity that made Tamara uncomfortable. Not in a bad way. In a way that suggested he was really looking at her, really seeing her. "I have to say," Nathan said, "Keisha didn't do you justice. She said you were beautiful, but that doesn't even come close." Tamara felt her cheeks heat. "Thank you. You're not so bad yourself." Nathan laughed. And it was a good laugh. Genuine, warm. "So, I owe you an apology. About yesterday, I really did have car trouble." "I wasn't making excuses. I believe you," Tamara said, which was true. She did believe him. She'd been there. "What about you?" Nathan asked. "You said you had an emergency. Work thing?" This was her chance, her opportunity to tell the truth, to explain, to clear everything up before it got more complicated. But looking at Nathan's face, at his genuine interest, at the way he was looking at her like she was the only person in the room, Tamara chickened out. "Yeah," she said. "Work thing. I'm a mechanic, mobile mechanic. Someone called with an emergency, and I had to help them." Nathan's eyebrows rose. "A mechanic? That's incredible. I've never met a female mechanic before." "There are more of us than you'd think," Tamara said. "It's not as unusual as it used to be." "Do you like it?" Nathan asked. "The work?" "I love it," Tamara said, and that was completely true. There's something satisfying about fixing things. About taking something that's broken and making it work again. Plus, it's mine. My business. My rules. That matters to me. "I can imagine," Nathan said. "Building something from nothing is hard, but worth it." A waiter appeared and took their drink orders. When he left, Nathan leaned forward. "So, full disclosure, my mother set this up. She's been on my case for 2 years about settling down, finding someone real. She said you were different, special, and I have to say, she was right." "You barely know me," Tamara pointed out. "True," Nathan agreed. "But I'm a good judge of character, and something about you, I don't know. You feel different. Like you're not trying to impress me or be someone you're not." Guilt stabbed through Tamara's chest. If only he knew. "What do you do?" she asked, changing the subject. "I run a real estate development company," Nathan said. "My father started it. I took over when he retired 5 years ago. We build commercial properties. Office buildings, shopping centers, that kind of thing." "So, you're successful," Tamara said. "I've done well," Nathan admitted. "But it's not just about money. I want to build things that last. Things that make neighborhoods better. Things people can be proud of." "That's admirable," Tamara said, and she meant it. They ordered food and talked for the next hour. Nathan was funny, smart, surprisingly down to earth for someone who ran a multi-million-dollar company. He asked Tamara about her son, and when she tensed, expecting judgment, he smiled and said, "Single parents are heroes. I can't imagine doing everything alone." He asked about her business, her dreams, her goals. Listened to her answers like they mattered. Like she mattered. And slowly, Tamara started to relax. Started to enjoy herself. Started to forget that she was sitting across from a man she'd met yesterday on the side of the highway and was currently lying to by omission. Until Nathan said something that made Tamara's blood run cold. "Can I tell you something funny?" Nathan asked, finishing his wine. "Yesterday, when I had that car trouble, I called this mobile mechanic, and she was amazing. Fixed my car in 20 minutes on the side of the highway. Saved my date. Well, almost saved it, since you weren't there. But the point is, she was incredible, professional, skilled. And I remember thinking, this is the kind of woman I should be dating. Someone who works hard. Someone who doesn't need me. Someone real." Tamara's fork froze halfway to her mouth. "Really?" "Yeah," Nathan said, completely oblivious to the bomb he'd just dropped. "Her name was Tamara too. Tamara Williams. Same first name as you. Weird coincidence, right?" Tamara set down her fork carefully. "Very weird. I wanted to ask her out," Nathan continued. "But she was working, and I was stressed about this date, and I didn't want to be that guy who hits on women when they're just trying to do their job. But I kept thinking about her, about how capable she was, how confident, how she didn't care that I was dressed in an expensive suit or driving a Mercedes. She just saw someone who needed help, and she helped. That's character." "It is," Tamara said faintly. "I even looked her up," Nathan admitted. "Found her business page online. 4.9-star rating. Dozens of reviews saying she's honest and fair. One guy wrote that she could have overcharged him but didn't. Another said she drove an hour out of her way to help his daughter. That's the kind of person I want in my life." Tamara's heart was pounding. "So why are you here with me and not her?" Nathan looked surprised by the question. "Because I'm not that guy. I don't pursue women who are working. It would have been inappropriate. And besides, I had this date with you. A date my mother set up. A date I'd already committed to. I keep my commitments." "Even if you're interested in someone else?" Tamara asked. "I'm not interested in someone else," Nathan said, reaching across the table to take Tamara's hand. "I'm interested in you. Right now, right here, this Tamara. The one sitting across from me. The one who makes me laugh. The one who's smart and beautiful, and everything my mother said you'd be." The mechanic was just a moment. "You could be something more." Tamara pulled her hand back. "Nathan, I need to tell you something." "Okay," Nathan said, his expression shifting to concern. "What is it?" This was it. The moment, the confession, the truth that would either bring them closer or end this before it really began. Tamara opened her mouth to speak, and her phone rang. Loud and shrill in the quiet restaurant. Everyone turned to look. Tamara wanted to ignore it, but she saw Keisha's name on the screen, and her stomach dropped. Keisha only called during dates if something was wrong with Jaden. "I'm sorry," Tamara said, standing up. "I have to take this. It's about my son." She walked quickly toward the restaurant entrance, her heels clicking on the polished floor. Answered the phone with her heart in her throat. "Keisha? What's wrong?" Don't panic," Keisha said, which immediately made Tamara panic. "Jaden's okay. He's okay. But he's sick. Really sick. Fever of 103. He's throwing up. Asking for you. I think we need to take him to the hospital." "I'm on my way," Tamara said immediately. "I'll be there in 20 minutes. Keep him cool. Give him water if he can keep it down. I'm coming." She hung up and turned to find Nathan standing behind her. "Is everything okay?" "No," Tamara said, grabbing her purse from the table. "My son is sick. I have to go. I'm sorry. I know this is the second time I've Don't apologize," Nathan said firmly. "Your son needs you. That's more important than dinner. Go. Do you need help? Can I drive you?" "No, I'm fine," Tamara said, already moving toward the door. "I'm sorry, Nathan. I really am. This was going so well, and Tamara," Nathan said, catching her arm gently. "It's okay. Really? Kids come first. Always. Can I at least pay for your valet? For the parking? I can't afford valet, Tamara said without thinking. My car is in the lot. Something flickered across Nathan's face. Understanding. Realization that she wasn't from his world. That she counted pennies and worried about parking fees. But all he said was, "Then, let me walk you to your car." They walked together in tense silence. Tamara was torn between worry about Jaden and guilt about leaving Nathan and the truth she'd almost told him and now wouldn't be able to. When they reached her van, Nathan stopped and stared. "This is your car?" he asked. "It's my work van," Tamara said defensively. "I need it for tools and equipment." Nathan walked around it slowly, reading the magnetic sign on the side, Williams Mobile Mechanics, honest service, fair prices. Reading the phone number printed beneath, his face went through several emotions: confusion, realization, shock. "Tamara Williams," Nathan said slowly. "Mobile mechanic, this is you. You're the woman from yesterday, the one who fixed my car." Tamara's throat closed. "Yes. You knew," Nathan said, his voice flat. "This whole time, you knew it was me yesterday, and you didn't say anything. And tonight, when I told you about the mechanic I met, you still didn't say anything." "I tried," Tamara said desperately. "Just now, I was about to tell you when Keisha called." "Nathan, I can't explain." "You've been lying to me," Nathan said, taking a step back. "From the moment we sat down, maybe from the moment we met yesterday. I poured my heart out about looking for someone real, someone honest, and you've been lying the whole time." "I didn't lie," Tamara protested. "I just didn't correct your assumption. And I was going to tell you, I was literally about to, when you got a convenient phone call," Nathan finished. "How do I know that's even real? How do I know your son is actually sick, and this isn't just another way to avoid telling me the truth?" The accusation hit Tamara like a slap. "Are you serious? You think I'd lie about my child being sick? Nathan, my son has a fever of 103. He's 7 years old, and he's asking for me, and I need to go, right now. So believe whatever you want to believe, think whatever you want to think, but I'm leaving." She got in her van, started the engine. Nathan was standing in the parking lot, hands in his pockets, face a mixture of anger and hurt and confusion. Tamara wanted to say more, wanted to fix this, but Jaden needed her more than her pride did. She drove away, watching Nathan get smaller in her rearview mirror, watching her second chance disappear just like the first. Feeling like the world's biggest idiot for thinking this could work, for thinking she could date someone like Nathan Reed, for thinking she deserved happiness beyond her son and her work. By the time she got to Keisha's house, Tamara was crying, but she wiped her tears before walking in. Jaden was on the couch, wrapped in blankets, his face flushed with fever. He saw Tamara and started crying. "Mama," he said weakly, "I don't feel good." Tamara gathered him into her arms. "I know, baby. Mama's here. We're going to make you better. I promise." They spent the next 6 hours in the emergency room. Jaden had strep throat. Bad strep throat. The doctor prescribed antibiotics and sent them home with instructions to rest and hydrate. By the time Tamara got Jaden settled in his own bed, gave him his medicine, and sat down on her couch, it was 3 in the morning. Her phone had 17 missed calls, 10 from Keisha, 7 from an unknown number that Tamara suspected was Nathan. There were also a dozen text messages. She read through them, each one making her feel worse. "Keisha, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Is Jaden okay? Keisha, Nathan called me, said you were the mechanic from yesterday. What? Call me. Keisha, please tell me Jaden is okay. And please tell me you can fix things with Nathan." He sounded really hurt. Unknown number, Nathan. "I'm sorry for what I said about your son. That was wrong. I hope he's okay." Unknown number, Nathan. "Can we talk? Please? I'm not angry, I just want to understand." Unknown number, Tamara. "I get it if you don't want to see me again, but I need you to know that I'm not mad about the lie. I'm mad that you didn't trust me enough to tell me the truth. That hurts more than anything." Unknown number, Nathan. "Good night, Tamara. I hope your son feels better." Tamara read the last message 3 times. Nathan wasn't angry, He was hurt, which was somehow worse. She'd hurt a good man, a decent man. A man who'd been nothing but kind to her, and she'd repaid that kindness with deception. She typed out a dozen responses and deleted them all. Finally, at 3:30 in the morning, she sent, "Jaden has strep throat. He's on antibiotics. He'll be okay. And Nathan, I'm sorry. I should have told you the truth from the beginning. I was scared. That's not an excuse, but it's the truth. I understand if you don't want to see me again, but thank you for tonight. For the parts that were good. Tamara." She hit send and put her phone face down on the couch. Didn't wait for a response. Didn't know if there would be one. Just sat in the dark, in her small apartment, listening to her son breathe in the next room, and wondered how she'd managed to ruin something that could have been good. Her phone buzzed. A text from Nathan. "Everyone's scared sometimes. That's human. But Tamara, if we're going to try this, we need honesty. Complete honesty. Can you give me that?" Tamara stared at the message. He said, "If we're going to try this," which meant he was still willing to try, still interested despite everything, still giving her a chance she wasn't sure she deserved. She typed, "Yes. Complete honesty, I promise." Nathan's response came immediately. "Then tell me one true thing, right now, something you haven't told me yet." Tamara thought about it, about all the things she could say, about her fears and insecurities and the 1,000 reasons she'd been trying to protect herself. Finally, she typed, "I'm terrified of you, not because you're mean or scary, but because I really like you, and I haven't really liked anyone in 8 years. And I'm afraid I'm going to mess this up. Afraid I'm not good enough for your world. Afraid that when you really know me, you're going to realize you made a mistake." She sent it before she could overthink it, before she could delete it and type something safer. The 3 dots appeared immediately, showing Nathan was typing. They disappeared, reappeared, disappeared again. Finally, a message came through. "I'm terrified too. I'm terrified that every woman I meet just sees my money, my company, my last name, and they pretend to be what I'm looking for until they get comfortable, and then they show who they really are. But Tamara, when you fixed my car yesterday, you had no idea who I was, and you were still kind, still professional, still yourself. That's what I'm looking for. That's who I want to know. The real you. Not the you that you think I want. Can you be that person?" Tamara's eyes filled with tears. "I can try." "Then let's start over," Nathan typed. "New plan. Tomorrow, if Jaden's feeling better, can I take you both to lunch? Somewhere casual. Somewhere you pick. Somewhere we can just be real people having a conversation. No fancy restaurants, no pretending, just us. What do you say?" Tamara looked at her phone for a long time. This was her 3rd chance. Maybe her last chance. She could say no. Could protect herself. Could keep Nathan at arm's length. And never risk getting hurt. Or she could say yes, could be brave. Could trust that maybe, just maybe, this man was as real as he seemed. She typed, "Okay, but I'm paying for my own food." Nathan's response was immediate. "Deal. Good night, Tamara, the real Tamara. I can't wait to meet her properly." Tamara smiled, despite everything. Despite the exhaustion, and the fear, and the disaster this night had been. She smiled and typed, "Good night, Nathan." "And Nathan? Thank you for not giving up on me." "Never," Nathan typed back. "See you tomorrow." Tamara put her phone down and leaned back on her couch. Tomorrow she'd introduce Nathan to Jaden. Tomorrow she'd stop hiding. Tomorrow she'd be completely honest, even if it scared her. Even if it didn't work out. Because Nathan Reed deserved that. And maybe, just maybe, so did she. But first, she needed sleep. And in the morning, she needed to check on Jaden. And then she needed to figure out how to explain to her 7-year-old son that the nice man coming to lunch might be important, might be someone special, might be the person who changed everything. Tamara closed her eyes and let herself imagine it. A future where she wasn't alone, where Jaden had a father figure, where she had a partner, where things worked out. It was a dangerous thing to hope for. But for the first time in 8 years, Tamara let herself hope anyway. Tamara woke up at 6 a.m. to the sound of her phone buzzing insistently on the nightstand. She grabbed it groggily, expecting another work call, but instead found 3 text messages from Nathan, all sent within the last 10 minutes. "Good morning. How's Jaden feeling? I know it's early. Sorry. Couldn't sleep. Been thinking about today. I'm nervous. Is that weird? I'm a 5-year-old man and I'm nervous about having lunch with you and your son. Despite her exhaustion, Tamara smiled. She typed back, Jaden's still asleep. I'll check on him in a minute. And yes, it's weird. But also kind of sweet. I'm nervous too. What are you nervous about? Nathan replied almost instantly. Tamara thought about how to answer. That Jaden won't like you. That you won't like him. That you'll realize dating a single mom is too complicated. That I'm setting my son up for disappointment if this doesn't work out. Should I keep going, or is that enough? That's enough, Nathan typed. Now let me tell you what I'm nervous about. That I'll say something wrong. That Jaden will think I'm trying to replace his father. That I won't know how to talk to a 7-year-old. That you'll realize I'm not as great as you think I am. See? We're both disasters. We'll be disasters together. Tamara actually laughed out loud at that. Okay, deal. Where should we meet? You said you'd pick the place, Nathan reminded her. Somewhere casual. Somewhere you're comfortable. Tamara thought about it. Most of the places she took Jaden were fast food restaurants or diners. Nothing special. Nothing that seemed appropriate for a man who probably ate at 5-star restaurants regularly. But Nathan had said casual, had said real. So, she made a choice. There's a diner called Rosie's on Crenshaw. Best pancakes in LA. Jaden loves it. 1 p.m.? Perfect, Nathan replied. I'll be there. And Tamara? Thank you. For trusting me with this. I know it's a big deal. It is, Tamara agreed. Don't mess it up. I'll try not to, Nathan promised. Tamara got up and checked on Jaden. His fever had broken during the night. He was still pale and tired looking, but definitely better. When his eyes opened and he saw his mom standing over him, he smiled weakly. How are you feeling, baby? Tamara asked, pressing her hand to his forehead. Better, Jaden said. My throat still hurts though. I know. The medicine will help. Are you hungry? Jaden thought about it. Maybe. Can I have soup? You can have whatever you want, Tamara said. And Jaden, I need to talk to you about something. Remember yesterday when I said I was going on a date? Jaden nodded, watching his mother carefully. Well, the date didn't go exactly as planned, Tamara continued, but the man I was supposed to meet wants to try again, and he asked if he could meet you, have lunch with us today, at Rosie's. How would you feel about that? Jaden was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, Is he nice? I think so, Tamara said honestly. But you can decide for yourself. If you don't like him, we don't have to see him again. Your opinion matters most to me. Always. Okay, Jaden said. I'll meet him. But Mama, if he's mean to you, I'm going to tell him to leave. Even if he's bigger than me. Tamara pulled her son into a gentle hug, careful not to hurt his sore throat. You're the bravest kid I know. I love you so much. Love you too, Mama, Jaden said. Can I have that soup now? The morning passed slowly. Tamara made Jaden soup, gave him his medicine, let him watch cartoons, while she obsessively changed her outfit 4 times. She finally settled on jeans and a nice sweater. Casual, but put together. The real her. Or at least a version of the real her that wasn't covered in engine grease. At 12:30, they got in the van and headed toward Rosie's. Jaden was quiet in the back seat, and Tamara kept glancing at him in the rearview mirror. You okay back there? She asked. I'm thinking, Jaden said seriously. About questions to ask your date, to see if he's good enough for you. Oh, really? Tamara tried not to smile. What kind of questions? Important ones, Jaden said. Like, does he like dogs? And, does he know how to play video games? And, will he teach me how to fix cars like you? Those are good questions, Tamara agreed. But remember, we're just having lunch, getting to know each other. Don't interrogate the poor man. What's interrogate mean? Jaden asked. It means asking too many questions in a scary way, Tamara explained. Like you're a detective, and he's a suspect. But I want to be a detective when I grow up, Jaden protested. How else am I going to practice? Tamara laughed despite her nerves. Maybe practice on someone else, not Mama's date. They arrived at Rosie's 10 minutes early. The diner was exactly what it looked like. Old, worn, comfortable, and full of regular people having regular conversations. Nothing fancy, nothing pretentious. This was Tamara's world. She just hoped Nathan could fit into it. They grabbed a booth near the window. Jaden immediately started coloring on the kids' menu the waitress brought over. Tamara watched the parking lot anxiously, wondering if Nathan would actually show up. Wondering if he'd take one look at this place and realize he'd made a mistake. At exactly 1 p.m., a car pulled into the lot. Not the Mercedes, a normal Toyota Camry. And Nathan got out wearing jeans and a plain t-shirt. No suit, no fancy shoes. He looked like a regular guy. Like someone who belonged in a place like Rosie's. Tamara's heart did something complicated in her chest. He'd listened. Had understood what she meant by casual. Had dressed to fit into her world, instead of expecting her to fit into his. Nathan walked in, spotted them immediately, and headed over with a smile that made Tamara's stomach flip. When he reached the booth, he didn't try to hug her or kiss her cheek, or do anything presumptuous. He just said, "Hi," and then turned his attention to Jaden. "You must be Jaden," Nathan said, extending his hand. "I'm Nathan. Your mom has told me a lot about you." Jaden looked at Nathan's hand suspiciously. Then he shook it, his small hand disappearing in Nathan's larger one. "She told me about you too. She said you had car trouble." "I did," Nathan confirmed, sliding into the booth across from them. "Your mom saved me. Fixed my car on the side of the highway. She's really good at her job." "I know," Jaden said proudly. "She's the best mechanic in the whole world." "I believe it," Nathan said, and he was looking at Tamara when he said it. The waitress came over and they ordered pancakes for Jaden, a burger for Tamara, a grilled cheese for Nathan, which made Jaden giggle because that's a kid food. "I like kid food," Nathan said with a shrug. "Grilled cheese is delicious. You can't convince me otherwise." "Do you like dogs?" Jaden asked suddenly. "I do," Nathan said. "I had a golden retriever when I was your age. His name was Buddy. Best dog in the world." "We can't have a dog," Jaden said sadly. "Our apartment doesn't allow pets. But someday, Mama says we'll have a house with a yard, and then we can get one." "That sounds like a good plan," Nathan said. "Do you know how to play video games?" Jaden continued his interrogation. "Some," Nathan admitted. "I'm not very good though. I usually lose to my nephew. He's 9 and he beats me every single time." "I'm 7 and I could probably beat you too," Jaden said confidently. "I don't doubt it," Nathan said, smiling. Tamara watched this exchange with growing warmth. Nathan wasn't talking down to Jaden, wasn't being condescending or fake. He was treating her son like a real person whose opinions mattered. And Jaden was responding to it, opening up, smiling. Their food arrived and they ate, the conversation flowing easily. Nathan asked Jaden about school, about his friends, about what he wanted to be when he grew up. Jaden told him about wanting to be a detective, then a mechanic like his mom, then maybe an astronaut because space was cool. "You can be all three," Nathan said seriously. "Be a detective who fixes spaceships. That's a real job." "Really?" Jaden's eyes went wide. "Probably," Nathan said, glancing at Tamara with a small smile. "Your mom would know better than me." "It could be a real job," Tamara confirmed. "You can be anything you want, baby, as long as you work hard and don't give up." Halfway through the meal, Jaden excused himself to go to the bathroom. The moment he was out of earshot, Nathan leaned forward. "He's amazing," Nathan said quietly. "You've done an incredible job raising him." "He's the best thing I've ever done," Tamara said. "The only thing I'm really proud of." "What about your business?" Nathan asked. "You should be proud of that too. Do you know how rare it is to build something from nothing, especially in a male-dominated field?" "I guess," Tamara said, uncomfortable with the praise. "I just do what I have to do. For Jaden, to keep us afloat." "It's more than that," Nathan insisted. "You're talented, skilled, respected. I read your reviews online, remember? People love you. That's not just about fixing cars. That's about who you are as a person." Before Tamara could respond, Jaden returned. But Nathan's words stayed with her, made her see herself differently, made her wonder if maybe she was more than just a struggling single mom. Maybe she was someone worth being proud of. After lunch, they walked out to the parking lot together. Jaden was holding Tamara's hand and yawning. The big meal, and his lingering illness, making him sleepy. "I should get him home," Tamara said. "He needs to rest." "Of course," Nathan said. Then, to Jaden, "It was really nice meeting you. I hope we can hang out again sometime." Do you want to come over and play video games? Jaden asked. I promise I'll go easy on you. Nathan looked at Tamara, asking permission silently. She nodded. I'd love to, Nathan said. When's good? Tomorrow? Jaden asked hopefully. If I'm feeling better, tomorrow works, Nathan agreed. I'll bring my terrible gaming skills, and you can laugh at how bad I am. Jaden smiled, then surprised everyone by hugging Nathan quickly, before running to the van. Nathan stood there, looking stunned and touched, his hand pressed to his chest where Jaden had hugged him. He likes you, Tamara said. He doesn't hug people he doesn't like. I like him too, Nathan said. And Tamara? Thank you. For this. For trusting me with your son. I know that's not easy. It's not, Tamara agreed. But you made it easier. You were perfect with him. Natural? Real. I was terrified, Nathan admitted. Still am, but I really want this to work. Whatever this is, I want to figure it out with you. Me too, Tamara said. They stood there in the parking lot, the afternoon sun warm on their faces, and Tamara felt something shift, felt herself opening up, letting Nathan in. Taking a risk that might break her heart but also might be the best thing she'd ever done. Nathan's phone rang. He glanced at it and frowned. I'm sorry, I have to take this work thing. Go ahead, Tamara said. I need to get Jaden home anyway. Nathan answered the phone, and Tamara watched his face change. Watched him go from relaxed and happy to tense and worried in seconds. He said a few short words, hung up, and turned to Tamara with an expression that made her stomach drop. I have to go, Nathan said. There's an emergency at one of my construction sites. Someone got hurt. I need to be there. Of course, Tamara said. Go. Is it serious? I don't know yet, Nathan said. But Tamara, about tomorrow. Can I still come over, or should we reschedule? Come over, Tamara said. If you can, if you want to. I want to, Nathan said firmly. I'll text you tonight, let you know what's happening. And Tamara? Today was perfect. Don't forget that. He squeezed her hand quickly, then jogged to his car. Tamara watched him drive away, feeling like she was watching something important slip through her fingers, even though he'd promised to come back. She got Jaden settled in the van and drove home, her mind spinning. The day had gone so well. Better than she'd hoped. Nathan had been everything she'd wanted him to be. Kind, genuine, good with Jaden. Everything pointed toward this working out. So why did Tamara feel like something was about to go wrong? That evening, while Jaden was sleeping and Tamara was cleaning up dinner dishes, her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But something made her pick up. Tamara Williams. A woman's voice. Cold. Professional. Yes, who's this? My name is Patricia Reed. I'm Nathan's mother. We need to talk. About you. About your intentions with my son. About whether you understand what you're getting into by dating someone like Nathan. Tamara's blood ran cold. I'm sorry, what? I know who you are, Patricia continued. I know you're a mechanic. I know you have a child from a previous relationship. I know you live in a small apartment in Inglewood and drive a work van. And I know you met my son when you fixed his car on the highway. What I don't know is whether you're dating him because you like him or because you see an opportunity to improve your circumstances. Excuse me? Tamara's voice was sharp with anger. You don't know me. You don't get to make assumptions about me. I know enough, Patricia said. Nathan is a good man, a successful man, and he has a history of choosing women who take advantage of his kind nature. Women who pretend to be what he's looking for until they get comfortable, and then they show their true colors. I won't let that happen again. I'm not taking advantage of anyone, Tamara said, her hands shaking with rage. I have my own business, my own life. I don't need Nathan's money. Everyone needs money, Patricia said dismissively, especially single mothers struggling to make rent. Don't pretend you haven't thought about how much easier your life would be with someone like Nathan in it. How much more you could provide for your son. This conversation is over, Tamara said. Don't call me again. You're right, Patricia said. This conversation is over. But Tamara, hear me clearly. Nathan deserves someone from his world. Someone who understands his responsibilities and his position. Someone who can stand beside him at charity galas and business dinners without embarrassing him. you are not that person. And if you truly care about my son, you'll walk away before you ruin his life." The line went dead. Tamara stood in her small kitchen, phone still pressed to her ear, feeling like she'd been slapped. Patricia's words echoed in her head. Someone from his world, someone who can stand beside him, before you ruin his life. Tamara looked around her apartment. At the worn furniture, at the pile of bills on the counter, at the work boots by the door, at the life she'd built, that suddenly felt small and insufficient. Maybe Patricia was right. Maybe Tamara was being selfish. Maybe dating Nathan was setting everyone up for disappointment. Setting Jaden up to get attached to someone who would eventually realize that a mechanic and her son didn't fit into his perfect, wealthy world. Her phone buzzed. A text from Nathan. Site visit took longer than expected. Worker is going to be okay. Broken arm. Could have been worse. How's Jaden? Still good for tomorrow? Tamara stared at the message. She could tell him about his mother's call. Could let Nathan decide what to do. Could give him the chance to defend their relationship, or prove Patricia right. Or she could protect him, could protect herself and Jaden, could end this before it got more complicated, before more people got hurt. She typed, "Jaden's good. About tomorrow." She stopped, deleted it, started again. "Tomorrow might not work. Can we talk?" Nathan's response came quickly. "Is everything okay? What's wrong?" "I just think we should talk. About expectations. About where this is going. About whether this makes sense." There was a long pause. Then, "Tamara, what happened? Something changed between this afternoon and now. Talk to me." Tamara wanted to tell him, wanted to explain about Patricia's call, about the doubts that were eating her alive, about the fear that she was making a mistake that would hurt everyone she loved. But before she could type anything, there was a knock at her door. Tamara frowned. It was 8 p.m. She wasn't expecting anyone. She looked through the peephole, and her heart stopped. Nathan was standing in her hallway, in jeans and a t-shirt, looking worried and determined. He'd driven all the way to Inglewood, from wherever his construction site was. Had come to her apartment without being invited, without knowing if she'd even let him in. Tamara opened the door slowly. "Nathan, what are you doing here?" "You sounded weird in your texts," Nathan said. "Off." And I couldn't stop thinking about it. Couldn't wait until tomorrow to find out what was wrong. So I came. I hope that's okay. I know I should have called first, but I was afraid you wouldn't answer." "Tamara, what's wrong? What happened?" Tamara looked at this man, standing in her doorway. This successful, handsome, kind man who'd driven across the city because he was worried about her. Who'd shown up even though she'd been pulling away. Who was here, right now, demanding to know what was wrong, instead of just letting her disappear. And Tamara made a decision. A choice to be honest, to trust, to stop protecting herself, and start fighting for something that might actually be worth it. "Your mother called me," Tamara said quietly. "She told me I'm not good enough for you, that I don't fit in your world, that I should walk away before I ruin your life." And Nathan, maybe she's right. Maybe we're making a mistake. Maybe— "Stop," Nathan interrupted. "Can I come in, please?" Tamara stepped aside and let him enter. Nathan walked into her small living room and turned to face her, his expression intense. "My mother is wrong," Nathan said firmly. "About everything. About you. About us. About what I need. And I'm sorry she called you. I'm sorry she said those things. But Tamara, I'm 35 years old. I make my own decisions. And I'm deciding that I want this. Want you. Want to see where this goes. Not because of what you can do for me. Not because of what you can give me. But because you're real. You're kind. You're strong. You're everything I've been looking for and didn't know how to find." "I'm a mess," Tamara whispered. "My life is complicated. I have a son. I work all the time. I live in a tiny apartment. I can't go to charity galas. I don't know how to be what your mother thinks you need." "I don't need what my mother thinks I need," Nathan said, taking Tamara's hands in his. "I need someone who sees me, not my money, not my company, not my last name, me. And you do that. From the moment you met me on that highway, you've seen me as just a guy with a broken car, just Nathan. That's what I need. That's who I want." "What if it's not enough?" Tamara asked. "What if 6 months from now you realize your mother was right?" "Then we'll deal with it 6 months from now," Nathan said. "But Tamara, I don't think that's going to happen." I think 6 months from now, I'm going to be even more sure that meeting you was the best thing that ever happened to me. Tamara wanted to believe him, wanted to trust that love could be enough, that two people from different worlds could make it work, but doubt still gnawed at her. I'm scared, Tamara admitted. Me too, Nathan said. But let's be scared together. Let's see what happens. Give us a real chance, please. Tamara looked into Nathan's eyes and saw the same fear she felt, the same hope, the same desperate wish that maybe, just maybe, this could work. And she realized something important. Being scared meant she cared. Meant this mattered. Meant it was worth fighting for. Okay, Tamara said. Okay. We'll try. Really try. But Nathan, complete honesty. That's the rule. No more secrets. No more protecting each other from hard truths. Deal, Nathan said. 3 months later, Tamara was under the hood of a BMW in Beverly Hills when her phone rang. She wiped her greasy hands on a rag and glanced at the screen. Nathan. She smiled and answered, tucking the phone between her ear and shoulder while she continued working. Hey, what's up? I need to ask you something important, Nathan said, his voice tight with stress. Can you talk? Tamara's smile faded. She'd learned Nathan's voices over the past 3 months. His happy voice, his tired voice, his frustrated voice. This was his stressed voice, the one that meant something was wrong. Yeah, I can talk. What's going on? My company is having a charity gala next Saturday. Big event. All my investors will be there. Board members. Business partners. Important people. And I need a date. I want you to come with me. Tamara froze, her wrench halfway to a bolt. A charity gala? Nathan, I don't know. I know it's not your thing, Nathan interrupted. I know fancy events make you uncomfortable. But Tamara, we've been together for 3 months. 3 really good months. And I want you there. I want to introduce you to people. I want them to meet the woman I'm dating. The woman I'm falling for. Tamara's heart did that complicated thing it always did when Nathan said things like that. You're falling for me? I've been falling for you since you fixed my car on the highway, Nathan admitted. Maybe even before that. Maybe from the moment I saw you get out of your van, covered in grease and completely confident in who you were. But that's not the point. The point is, will you come to this gala with me, please? Tamara thought about Patricia Reed. About Nathan's mother who'd called her 3 more times in the past 3 months. Each conversation more hostile than the last. About the world Nathan came from that Tamara didn't understand. About standing in a room full of wealthy people who would look at her and know she didn't belong. Nathan, I don't have anything to wear to a charity gala. I don't know how to act at those things. I'll embarrass you. You could never embarrass me, Nathan said firmly. And we'll figure out the dress. We'll figure out everything. Just say yes, please. I need you there. There was something in his voice. Something more than just wanting a date. Something that sounded almost desperate. What's really going on? Tamara asked. This isn't just about wanting me at a party. Nathan was quiet for a moment. Then he sighed. My mother is on the board. She'll be there. With my ex-girlfriend Amanda. The one she wanted me to marry. Patricia invited her specifically to show me what I'm missing by dating you. It's manipulative and petty, and I'm furious about it. But Tamara, I need you there. I need to show my mother that I've made my choice. That I choose you. That no amount of her scheming is going to change that. Tamara closed her eyes. This was exactly what she'd been afraid of. Being dragged into family drama. Being used as a pawn in some power struggle between Nathan and his mother. Being put in a position where she'd inevitably fail and prove Patricia right. Maybe you should take Amanda, Tamara said quietly. Make your mother happy. Avoid the conflict. Is that really what you want? Nathan asked, his voice hard. You want me to take my ex-girlfriend to a gala to make my controlling mother happy? Because Tamara, if that's what you think I should do, then we have a bigger problem than a fancy party. No, Tamara said quickly. That's not what I want. Nathan, I'm terrified of being in that room. Of being judged by everyone. Of proving your mother right. That I don't belong in your world. Then prove her wrong, Nathan said. Come to the gala. Hold your head high. Be yourself. Show everyone the woman I see. The strong, intelligent, beautiful woman who built a business from nothing and raises an amazing kid and doesn't take crap from anyone. That woman can handle a room full of stuffy rich people. I know she can. Tamara wanted to believe him, wanted to be that confident, but doubt was eating her alive. I need to think about it, she said. Okay, Nathan said, though he sounded disappointed. But Tamara, please don't let my mother win. Don't let her scare you away. We're good together. You know we are. I know, Tamara whispered. I'll call you later, okay? Okay. I love you. The words hung in the air between them. Nathan had never said that before. Neither had Tamara. It was too soon, too fast, too scary. But it was also true. Tamara knew it was true. She'd been feeling it for weeks but was too afraid to say it. Afraid that speaking the words out loud would make everything too real, too fragile, too easy to break. Nathan, Tamara started. You don't have to say it back, Nathan interrupted. I just needed you to know. I'll talk to you later. He hung up before Tamara could respond. She stood there in the Beverly Hills driveway, holding her phone, covered in grease, feeling like her heart was being pulled in two different directions. She loved Nathan. She knew she did. And Nathan loved her. But was love enough? Was it enough to overcome the differences in their worlds? Was it enough to withstand Patricia's constant attacks? Was it enough to build a future on? Tamara didn't know. But she was about to find out. That evening, Tamara sat Jaden down after dinner. He was 8 years old now, having just had his birthday last month. Nathan had thrown him a party at an arcade, inviting all of Jaden's friends, making the day special in a way Tamara never could have afforded on her own. Jaden had been so happy, had started calling Nathan his almost dad, when he thought Tamara wasn't listening. Baby, I need to talk to you about something, Tamara said. Jaden looked up from his homework, immediately alert. Are you and Nathan breaking up? What? No. Why would you think that? Because you have that worried face, Jaden said. The face you get when something bad is happening. And the only bad thing that could happen is you and Nathan breaking up. Please don't break up with him, Mama. He's the best thing that ever happened to us. Tamara's eyes filled with tears. We're not breaking up. But Nathan invited me to a fancy party next week. With his business friends. And his mother. The mean lady who called you? Jaden asked, his face darkening. The one who said you weren't good enough? She didn't say. Tamara stopped. She'd told Keisha about Patricia's calls but hadn't realized Jaden had overheard. How do you know about that? I heard you talking to Miss Keisha, Jaden admitted. I wasn't spying. I just heard. And Mama, she's wrong. You're the best person in the world. If Nathan's mom can't see that, then she's dumb. Tamara laughed despite herself. You can't call adults dumb. But she is, Jaden insisted. She doesn't even know you. How can she say you're not good enough if she doesn't know you? Sometimes people judge based on what they see, not who you really are, Tamara explained. Nathan's mother sees that I'm a mechanic who doesn't have a lot of money, and she thinks that means I'm not right for her son. Then you have to go to the party, Jaden said firmly. You have to go and show her she's wrong. Show her how amazing you are. Show everyone. I'm scared, baby, Tamara admitted. I don't know how to be around rich people. I don't know how to act at fancy parties. Just be yourself, Jaden said, like it was the simplest thing in the world. That's what Nathan always tells me. Just be yourself, and people will like you. And if they don't, then they're not worth worrying about. Tamara pulled her son into a hug. I've always been wise, Jaden said seriously. You just notice it more now. That night, Tamara called Nathan. I'll go to the gala. On one condition. Anything, Nathan said immediately. You don't leave my side. Not for a minute. If I'm doing this, if I'm walking into that room and facing your mother and all those people, I need to know you're with me. Completely with me. I promise, Nathan said. I won't leave your side. And Tamara, thank you. For being brave. For choosing us. Don't thank me yet, Tamara said. I might still chicken out. You won't, Nathan said confidently. You're the bravest person I know. The next week passed in a blur of anxiety and preparation. Keisha took Tamara dress shopping, insisting on paying for a gown that cost more than Tamara made in a month. It was beautiful. Deep green silk that made Tamara's skin glow. Elegant, without being flashy. Perfect. You look like royalty, Keisha said when Tamara tried it on. Nathan's going to lose his mind. His mother's going to hate it, Tamara worried. Good, Keisha said. Let her hate it. Let her see exactly what her son chose. Let her eat her heart out. The night of the gala, Tamara stood in her bathroom, applying makeup with shaking hands. Jaden was staying with Keisha. Nathan was picking Tamara up in 20 minutes. This was happening, actually happening. When Nathan arrived and saw Tamara in her dress, his jaw literally dropped. Wow. Tamara, wow. Is that good or bad? Tamara asked nervously. That's me forgetting how to use words because you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, Nathan said. I'm the luckiest man alive. Save the compliments for when we survive the night, Tamara said, grabbing her purse. Let's get this over with. The gala was at a downtown hotel. The ballroom was massive, filled with hundreds of people in tuxedos and designer gowns. A string quartet played in one corner. Waiters circulated with champagne and appetizers that probably cost more than Tamara's weekly grocery budget. Everything was elegant, sophisticated, intimidating. Nathan's hand found Tamara's and squeezed. You've got this. I'm right here. They walked in together, and Tamara felt every eye in the room turn toward them, felt people assessing her, judging her, wondering who she was and why she was with Nathan Reed. Nathan, a voice called out. A beautiful woman in a red dress approached. So good to see you. Hi, Amanda, Nathan said politely. This is my girlfriend, Tamara. Tamara, this is Amanda Martinez. So this was the ex. The one Patricia wanted Nathan to marry. She was stunning, polished, everything Tamara wasn't. Nice to meet you, Amanda said, her smile not reaching her eyes. Nathan, your mother was looking for you. She's by the bar. I'm sure she was, Nathan said dryly. We'll catch up with her later. They moved through the crowd, Nathan introducing Tamara to colleagues and investors. Everyone was polite. Some were genuinely warm. Others were clearly sizing her up, trying to figure out if she was worth Nathan's time. Then Tamara saw her. Patricia Reed, standing near the bar in a silver gown, watching them with cold eyes. Nathan saw his mother at the same time and tensed. We don't have to go over there, he said to Tamara. Yes, we do, Tamara said, straightening her spine. I'm not hiding from her. They approached Patricia together. Up close, she was an older, female version of Nathan. Same strong features, same intense eyes. But where Nathan's eyes were warm, Patricia's were ice. Mother, Nathan said. This is Tamara Williams. Tamara, my mother, Patricia Reed. Mrs. Reed, Tamara said, extending her hand. Nice to finally meet you in person. Patricia looked at Tamara's hand like it might bite her. After a long, awkward pause, she shook it briefly. Miss Williams. How unexpected to see you here. I invited her, Nathan said sharply. She's my girlfriend. Where else would she be? I can think of several places more appropriate, Patricia said, her voice dripping with disdain. But I suppose we all have different definitions of appropriate. That's enough, Nathan warned. You can be civil, or you can leave. I'm perfectly civil, Patricia said. I'm simply curious about Miss Williams. Tell me, dear, what do you know about running a multi-million-dollar company? About the pressures Nathan faces? About the world he lives in? Nothing, Tamara admitted, refusing to be intimidated. I don't know anything about running a company. But I know about working hard, about building something from nothing, about taking care of the people who depend on you. And I know Nathan. The real Nathan. Not the business owner or the heir or the symbol. Just Nathan. The man who plays video games with my son and fixes my sink when it leaks and falls asleep during movies because he works too hard. That's the Nathan I know, and that's the Nathan I love. The word love hung in the air. Tamara hadn't meant to say it, especially not here, in front of Patricia, in front of all these people, but it was out now, true and raw and undeniable. Nathan was staring at her with an expression that made Tamara's heart race. You love me? Yes, Tamara said, turning to face him fully. I love you. I've been too scared to say it, but I do. I love you so much it terrifies me. I love you too, Nathan said, pulling her close. I've been trying to tell you for weeks. They kissed, right there in the middle of the gala, in front of Nathan's mother and his ex-girlfriend and all his business associates. It was inappropriate. It was perfect. It was them. When they broke apart, Patricia was gone. Amanda was staring. Several people were whispering. And Nathan was smiling like Tamara had just given him the world. That was incredibly inconvenient timing, Nathan said, but I'm not sorry. Me neither, Tamara agreed. The rest of the evening passed in a blur. Nathan kept his promise, didn't leave Tamara's side for a moment, introduced her proudly, stood up for her when people made subtle digs, made it clear that she was important to him, that she mattered. Near the end of the night, a woman approached, older, kind-faced, wearing simple jewelry despite her obvious wealth. Nathan, introduce me to your lovely date, she said warmly. Mrs. Patterson, this is Tamara Williams. Tamara, Mrs. Patterson is on our board. She's also the person who taught me everything about business. Nice to meet you, Tamara said. The pleasure is mine, Mrs. Patterson said. I've heard interesting things about you, my dear. That you're a mechanic. That you have a son. That you met Nathan in the most unconventional way. Tamara braced herself for judgment, but Mrs. Patterson just smiled. I think it's wonderful, she said. Nathan needed someone real. Someone who sees him for who he is, not what he has. His mother means well, but Patricia's been trying to control Nathan's life for too long. It's good to see him finally standing up for what he wants, for who he wants. Good for you, dear. And Nathan, don't let this one get away. She's special. Mrs. Patterson walked away, leaving Tamara speechless. Nathan was grinning. See? Not everyone here is awful. Some people get it. At midnight, they finally left. In the car, Tamara kicked off her heels and leaned her head against the window. That was exhausting. But you survived, Nathan pointed out. You were amazing. My mother threw everything she had at you and you stood your ground. You didn't let her intimidate you. I'm still terrified of her, Tamara admitted. She hates me. She doesn't know you, Nathan corrected. Give her time. She'll come around. And if she doesn't? Tamara asked. Then she doesn't, Nathan said simply. I love my mother, but I love you more. And I'm not giving you up to make her happy. Not now, not ever. They pulled up to Tamara's apartment. Nathan walked her to her door like he always did. Thank you, Nathan said, for tonight, for being brave. For telling me you love me in front of everyone. That took guts. I meant it, Tamara said. Every word. I know, Nathan said. And Tamara, I need to ask you something important. Tamara's heart started racing. Okay. Nathan took both her hands in his. I know it's only been 3 months. I know that's not very long, but I also know what I want. What I've been wanting since the moment you fixed my car on that highway. I want you. I want Jaden. I want us to be a family. A real family. So Tamara Williams, I'm not asking you to marry me. Not yet. But I'm asking if you'll move in with me. You and Jaden. There's room. You could have your own space. Jaden could have his own room. We could see what it's like to be together every day. To build something real. What do you say? Tamara stared at him. Move in together. Make this official. Take the next step. It was fast. Maybe too fast. But it also felt right. Can I think about it? Tamara asked. Talk to Jaden? Make sure he's ready? Of course, Nathan said. Take all the time you need. But Tamara, I'm serious about this. About us. I want a future with you. I want to wake up next to you. I want to have breakfast with Jaden. I want to be there for the big moments and the small ones. I want all of it. Me too, Tamara whispered. I want that too. They kissed goodnight, and Tamara went inside feeling like she was floating. She texted Keisha immediately. He wants us to move in together. Keisha's response was instant. What? Details now. Tamara called her and told her everything. About the gala. About Patricia's coldness. About Mrs. Patterson's kindness. About telling Nathan she loved him. About the invitation to move in. This is huge, Keisha said. What are you going to do? I don't know, Tamara admitted. Part of me wants to say yes immediately. But part of me is terrified. What if it doesn't work? What if we move in together and realize we don't actually fit? What if I'm making a mistake that'll hurt Jaden? Or, Keisha said, what if you move in together and it's perfect? What if you finally get the family you've been wanting? What if this is your happy ending? You can't live your life afraid of what might go wrong. Sometimes you have to take the risk. When did you get so wise? Tamara asked. I've always been wise, Keisha said, echoing Jaden's words. You just notice it more when I'm right. The next morning, Tamara talked to Jaden, explained Nathan's invitation, watched her son's face light up with excitement. We'd live with Nathan, in his big house, with the pool and the game room. If we say yes, Tamara confirmed. But baby, this is a big decision. It would change everything. New school, new neighborhood, new life. Are you okay with that? Are you kidding? Jaden asked. Mama, I've been praying for this. Every night, I pray that Nathan will be my real dad someday. And if we live with him, that's like one step closer, right? Tamara's eyes filled with tears. Yeah, baby, one step closer. Then we have to say yes, Jaden insisted. We have to. Please, Mama. Please say yes. Looking at her son's hopeful face, thinking about Nathan's proposal, remembering the feeling of being loved and supported and seen, Tamara made her decision. She called Nathan. Yes. Yes? Nathan asked, hope clear in his voice. Yes, Tamara repeated. We'll move in with you. Me and Jaden. We'll try this. Build something real. You just made me the happiest man in the world, Nathan said. When can you move in? Give us 2 weeks, Tamara said. To pack, to finish up some work obligations, to get Jaden ready for the change. 2 weeks, Nathan agreed. I'll be counting down every day. 2 weeks later, Tamara and Jaden moved into Nathan's house. It was beautiful, huge, with a room for Jaden that was bigger than their entire old apartment, with space for Tamara's tools in the garage, with a life they'd only dreamed about. That first night, they sat together on Nathan's couch. Tamara, Nathan, Jaden, watching a movie, eating popcorn, being a family. And Tamara realized something important. This was what she'd been afraid of. This happiness, this contentment, this feeling of everything being right. She'd been so scared of losing it that she'd almost walked away before giving it a chance. But she hadn't walked away. She'd stayed. She'd fought. She'd let Nathan in. And now, sitting in his house with her son asleep between them, Tamara knew she'd made the right choice. Hey, Nathan whispered, so as not to wake Jaden. You okay? Yeah, Tamara said, and she meant it. I'm perfect. We're perfect. This is perfect. Not quite perfect, Nathan said. Perfect would be if you married me, but I'm willing to wait for that, as long as it takes. Give me a year, Tamara said. 1 year living together. 1 year building this family. 1 year proving to your mother and everyone else that we work. And then ask me again. Deal, Nathan said, kissing her forehead. 1 year. And then I'm asking. And Tamara, you're going to say yes. Probably, Tamara agreed. But you'll have to ask to find out. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the movie, holding hands over their sleeping son. And Tamara thought about the journey that had brought them here, from a broken-down car on the highway to this moment. From strangers, to lovers, to family. It hadn't been easy. There had been lies and doubts and fears. There had been Patricia's hostility and society's judgments and their own insecurities. But they'd worked through it, together, and that's what mattered. Not where they came from, not what they had, not what anyone else thought, just that they loved each other, just that they'd chosen each other, just that they were willing to fight for this happiness they'd found. And that, Tamara realized, was enough, more than enough. It was everything. The single black mom who fixed cars on the highway had found her billionaire, not because he had money, not because he could give her things, but because he saw her, really saw her, and loved what he saw. And the billionaire had found his mechanic, not because she was convenient, not because she was easy, but because she challenged him, made him better, loved him for who he was, not what he had. Together, they were building something real, something lasting, something worth all the fear and doubt and struggle it had taken to get here. And that made every difficult moment worth it.